Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Hello, this is Ralph White, and we're Consulting to Win Radio, and we're coming to you today in beautiful sunny California. And I'm here with my co-host, Mary Mullenhoff. Hello, Mary. How are you today?
Great, Ralph. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm thrilled that the sun has come out, and it's a beautiful day, and it's a great day to talk about coaching and coaching people in the game of business to win. And we define winning as producing a result that you can be accountable for. So we have a guest with us today, and he's Dr. Kent Holtorf. And Dr. Holtorf is a very unique doctor. I've talked with him and I've coached with him, and he really provides a real opportunity for people to get healed in a variety of different modalities and a variety of different venues in medicine. So Dr. Holtorf, are you on the line?
Hello, I'm here.
Hello, how are you today, Kent?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. I'm delighted that you're on the show. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know that you've got a long line of people that would love to spend time with you, and I really appreciate you spending that time with us. So tell our listeners a little bit about your brand of medicine. How do you practice medicine? What's different about what you're doing?
Yeah, we do things a little different. I think we specialize in conditions that are poorly treated in so-called Western medicine or standard therapies. We're not alternative, we're integrative, but we use standard medications but we look at things a little different. We do much more extensive blood testing and testing to find out what's wrong with people. So patients come from all over the country, all over the world, saying, I don't feel right, but the doctor says he can't find anything. Things like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, fatigue, low thyroid that's not detected on standard blood tests. So we really become detectives and look much deeper and look more extensive than standard blood tests than that to find what's underlying the problem.
Excellent. So it sounds like you get the patients that are sort of at the end of the road where the doctor says there's nothing we can do for you. You're just going to have to live with this condition. I know my daughter has fibromyalgia, and that's basically what they said. They could give her, medication to deal with the pain, but there was nothing she could do. So that type of patient comes to you, and what do you do for them?
Right, so we really uncover what's typically is wrong. So we'll do oftentimes 30 blood tests at the first visit. People go, well, what if you don't find anything? That's never happened. I mean, we know what we're looking for. We'll find chronic infections. Again, low thyroid that's not detected by standard blood test. Kind of so many people are low thyroid, that's the standard blood test miss it. And that's why I started the nonprofit National Academy of Hypothyroidism, hypothyroidism.org, to kind of show that, hey, the studies are there showing that all these things are being missed. Sometimes it's that simple. Fix your thyroid, that goes away. But with chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, they have everything from chronic infections, mitochondrial dysfunction, coagulation defects. So we got to look at all those different areas.
So you really do, like a business coach, you look into the condition, you look at what's going on, you investigate it. I like the fact that you do testing to find out what's going on and to support the patient in determining, what the real issues are.
That's what I really enjoyed about your coaching is that it wasn't just nebulous, say this is the way you should be doing things. It's like, objectively, let's see if this is working. And it's just been one of the most powerful things that I've ever done. And I can't even explain, say how much it's helped our business and just taken, made me be much more efficient and much more enjoyable around my practice, because I was doing a terrible job that I didn't know I was, but I was doing so many things wrong. And as physicians, we're not trained to manage. And, I thought you just kind of, do what a manager, my style was, this is what I want you to do, okay, go do it. And, surprisingly now, but I didn't understand why I couldn't get a good employee. And I just, kept going through employees and just wasn't running right and spending so much time, trying to, oversee the practice. And now with your coaching help, it's just, oh my gosh, it's so much more efficient. It's a pleasure to be here, just running smoothly. And I'd say our profits have gone up, our costs have gone down, and I can't basically to say really how happy I am with the service.
Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that.
Wow.
But
Can I ask a question?
certainly, please.
Okay, so I'm familiar with lots of endocrinologists out there in the Southern California area, and obviously in the Torrance area. What made you do what you do the way that you're doing it? Because it is very, very different. I have a lot of friends who have issues with thyroids,
Yeah.
and I've never seen the kind of results in other people that I've seen you be able to produce, that you've been able to identify. Is it something about the way you were trained? Is it something about how you stumbled upon it?
No, I mean, that's the thing. We're all trained the same. And I was told in medical school and in residency, thyroid's very easy. If your TSH is high, your thyroid's low. If TSH is low, your thyroid's high. That's the simple test you do. Very simple. And you give thyroid till that's normal. But you look at the studies, and hundreds of studies show that doesn't work. But why doesn't, endocrinologists and that embrace this when the studies are there? And studies show actually most doctors, endocrinologists, internal medicine doctors are practicing 10 to 20 years behind what's available in the medical literature. And because they don't read medical literature, they don't. They say they do, but they don't. They don't have time. They wait for the drug rep to bring them the studies. They also found that even when you give a doctor the study, if it wasn't what he was taught in medical school, he doesn't want to hear it. He or she doesn't want to hear it. Don't tell them what they've been doing is wrong. And actually, a large study came out and showed that it takes on average a proven new therapy, except in mainstream medicine, a new way of doing things, on average 17 years.
Wow.
And again, because the doctors, even the studies are there over and over, they don't want to change the way they've been doing it. Don't tell me what I've been doing is wrong. My patients are fine.
So something about you just made you say, I'm gonna dig deeper. I'm gonna keep this going until I find a solution.
Right, and just once you start digging in and you find the studies, you're like, oh my gosh, why doesn't everyone know this? And then you dig more, and it's more and more, and you'll find, for instance, a lot of people saying what I'm saying is that standard blood tests aren't reliable, but they're kind of lay, on in the internet, and the doctors, don't believe that. But that's why we started this website showing here's hundreds of studies all proving that it's inaccurate. But we'll send patients back to their doctor so much better, and the doctor will say, oh my gosh, what'd you do? I said this. Well, no, they were normal on my test. Well, here's what you do. But they do, no, that will take 20 minutes. I don't have that time. I mean, so it's just, there's barriers. Also, insurance companies may not pay for the few extra tests, so they don't want to do it. And the whole system is a disincentive to do things better and try new therapies.
Yeah, so just another really quick story. So my dentist has an office in Sky Park. And I said to her, have you heard of a Dr. Holtorf? And she said, this was probably about a year ago. She said, yeah, he had an office right down the hall from me. It was a small office for many years. Now he has his own building. His name is on it. I was like, holy cow, I got to find out what this guy is doing in this business to just be growing like that. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So we even in the down economy, we're growing rapidly. And again, with getting more employees, it was very difficult for me. And just managing all this and trying to keep it organized and getting systems. And that's in fact, went from Ralph Systems. My wife was saying, "Would you stop saying systems?" I'm like, because I just fell in love with it. It's just like, my God, I have control now. I before it was just a controlled chaos. And Ralph would say, "Well, what are you doing for this?" I'm like, "I don't know. Everything was. I don't know. I think it works. Is that working for you?" "I think so." "Well, why don't you test it?" "What do you mean?" And it's just I think in this objective measures of success is so powerful that and all these things that I thought were working, and he said, "Let's test them." And he came up with a system. I'm like, they weren't. Oh my gosh, and all these things I knew I didn't know a lot, but I think even worse, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so all these things, I'm like, wow, and some were very simple to implement, and you look back at why didn't I do that before, and it's just made my life so much better, and everyone's happier. He comes up with systems that works with the employees, and two, it was always, I think, with the typical what happens, and they explain this is very common. It's kind of the employee versus the employer, and no one wants kind of the same thing. The employer wants to pay. We want to pay them the least as we can, and them and to work as much as they can, and they want the opposite. But he has systems where it's actually we're both working toward a common goal, and which makes sense. But how do you do that? And so it's just wonderful to implement these systems, and it's just everyone's happier, and the mood in the office is better, and it's running much more efficient. And I just, again, can't say enough about how happy I am with the service.
Excellent, thank you. And that's opened up a new possibility for a bigger future for you. So, what is your vision of what's possible now that you've got the systems in place, you've got measurements of performance with your staff, you've got job descriptions, you've got people that know what they need to do to get ahead in the company. And I know that you've also implemented cross training between your staff, and so that people are interested in learning more. But what does that, getting your business organized like that, what did that free you up to do, or what does that create for you?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's so powerful because I was spending all the time just putting out fires because things weren't working right. Now I can concentrate on, hey, how can we expand the business? And we get so many doctors around the country saying, can you teach me this? Or, how are you doing this? And so I've always wanted to, have either train doctors around the country or open centers, which I did with Fireman's Boutique centers, but didn't work very well because we didn't have the systems in place. Now it's really empowered me to say, okay, let's franchise this. We can offer the training, all the therapies to help patients, but also on the other side, I can offer these systems. And so doctors like myself who really don't know how to run a practice, that's part of what we offer, and it's very powerful. So, we just launched our franchise franchise model in Las Vegas at a conference, and it was just overwhelmingly positive. We had, 10 or 15 doctors in the country wanting to sign up on the spot, another 20 to 30 saying, I definitely want to do it. And that would have never been possible without your company because it just would have been overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with my center. How could I expand in other centers and do something else? So it's really freed me up to look at the future and look at so many different possibilities. And I really think your name fits. Its possibilities unlimited because if someone would have came to me, even a year ago and said, why don't you do that? Oh, God, oh, no way, that's impossible. But the more as I've learned all these techniques and to get these systems in place, I'm like, wow, this is definitely possible. So I think your name is very fitting, and I'm very fortunate to be, on the receiving end of it.
Very good. So in opening up all these centers, you're going to actually take what you've learned and replicate it and share it with the other doctors. So you're actually going to provide them sort of a franchise model that enables them to step into it, learn from both the technical side, the medical side that you have, and teach them that, and then provide them sort of a winning formula for being successful.
Right, because doctors, we offer the training, which some doctors will spend years to get the training that we do. And even then, the ones that do, they go to all these conferences, and for years I went to every conference. That's all I did. And what would say, you do your sentence, and you still don't know how to do it. You don't have that practical knowledge to implement all those things you learned. But we can train them in a couple months and say, here's how you do it. It's really compress that learning curve. Then you have the ones, even if they can do that, how do they market? How do they bring the patients in? We're doctors. We're not marketers. We're not business people. Then running the office. Well, how do I do this? How do I do that? Oh, my gosh, we're the worst at hiring staff and training staff. It's not what we do. It's not our mindset. So we give them those systems. We have, call center. So we have all the, when new patients call us, we do the marketing in the call center so we keep their schedule full. So all the different components, which doctors not very good at, we give that all to the doctor. So we offer that in a complete package.
That sounds like with that package, it's almost like if I was a doctor and I bought that package and I followed your instructions. I mean, you obviously have a successful formula and it's working. I see people lined up coming into your office that they would actually be able to reduce the learning curve, expand their practice faster by working with you, just like it is with working with a business coach.
Right.
Because it's our intention to reduce that learning curve. The advantage of having a coach is that you don't need to take 25 years to learn how to have your business successful, that
Right.
you can tap into that experience of someone else and utilize their experience and as well as the experience that they've gained from working with a large number of other people, such as yourself. You've worked with a large number of people and learned a lot, and you know that you read a lot more than than most people do, and constantly research a lot. Have you always been this way? I mean, did you come out of medical school this way?
Yeah, I've always been that way, but even, we require, with our doctors, our doctors do more continuing medical education in a week than most doctors do in a year.
Wow.
And, we have to be better here. And because we're the last stop for these patients, and so, we need the doctors that also fit that. And doctors have been beaten down. They just, most doctors don't read anything because they don't have time. They're just trying to survive. And with the whole insurance model, they're seeing more and more patients. The insurance, cuts the reimbursement of the doctors. Well, they see more patients. So I have some, friends seeing 60, 70 patients a day. I can't say hello in the time that they're seeing a patient. And so many doctors are frustrated, but they don't know what to do. They don't have an out. They go, I can't open a cash file. How do I do that? How do I, how would I even begin to do that? So we can crunch what normally take them 10 years to grow their practice. We can do it in months.
Now, are you gonna be screening these people to make sure that they're, sort of in the same wavelength that you're in, or is
very good. A good question. And normally we've had very tough time hiring physicians because, through the process, like you have an interview and, of course, they're on their, best behavior, and then you get them in and they're just not, because we have to have doctors that have great bedside manner, are just passionate and dedicated. And everyone has their CV and you meet them and you don't get a good sense. But what Ralph came up with a system, we do personality testing and a whole system that we go through. The doctors have to pass each thing. We send out questions that they answer, and they go through different phases. The nice thing is, I'm not even involved until the last step.
Wow.
It's taking to hiring a new doctor, it would just be, oh my gosh, that's a full-time job. And now it's like, okay, we can just do it. He's got great systems. We've got great doctors that just fit. And when you go through the system, it's just you can just go yes, yes, no, no. And before it was just like pulling teeth. And we would same thing with employees. We would keep bad employees around, and and doctors who really didn't fit because that it's so hard to find someone else. The whole process was overwhelming and inefficient. But with Possibilities Unlimited, we got a system now, and I'm like, I'm not scared to do it. It's like, okay, this works. We'll find a great doctor we know, and we'll weed out the ones that aren't going to fit. And we're so scared to have a doctor doesn't fit, or an employee, that we never did anything, never made a move. And so again, things like that are so empowering that we can have the ability to sift through a lot of employees or doctors and get that right one.
Yeah, something that's really fascinating to me about the way that you actually perform your work is this whole concept of the Western medicine and the Eastern medicine and that whole thing. And there really is sort of like a philosophy, and I know there's a lot of people who still don't believe in that. So I would think that kind of goes into your screening as well. It's just having somebody be open-minded to.
Right. It's because we get the kind of two sides. Doctors are either very allopathic, but they don't even care about supplements, or you get the other side that's supplements, medications are evil. And it's really it's that in between ground, and that's where you get the biggest benefit. If natural works, great. If it doesn't, we have the other option. So integrative physicians is very difficult to find. They're kind of naturopaths or ones that are very natural minded, but they don't do the other than the other ones who just kind of stuck and aren't open minded.
Okay. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, Dr. Holtorf would be able to answer any questions that you might have. So if you want to call in at 310-371-5444, that's 310-371-5444, and we will be right back.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
Making it perfect or nothing else is the company culture at Goldbrecht USA, a premier luxury window and door manufacturer. Doing business since 1889, every window and door is made with old-world craftsmanship and the finest materials, meticulous design, sleek finishing, and a commitment to the environment. They even use environmentally friendly transportation. Made in Germany, available in the U.S., Goldbrecht USA is located in Santa Monica, California. For the world's best windows and doors, visit www.goldbrechtusa.com or call now at 310-393-5540. That's 310-393-5540.
If you're like the 8 out of 10 women that say finding jeans that fit is a problem, well, your problem is solved. Lee Jeans has done extensive research, and they have jeans that fit. There's even an online Lee Fit Finder so you can find the right fit for you. Imagine jeans that instantly slim you with a custom fit and no gap waistband. And guys, kids, Lee has jeans for you too. Click through to Lee's Jeans on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and get what fits.
Put a little light in your life and keep it shining with Intellectric.net, a full-service lighting design company. If you need a top electrical contracting firm to deal with all facets of electrical, from concept to completion, including repair, call Intellectric.net at 310-838-5486. They can use green technology. They are home automation specialists, and they are high-end residential specialists. With prompt and efficient service, Intellectric.net has over 10 trucks, 28 employees, and on-call electricians available to handle your needs. Educated in state-of-the-art techniques and technology for all your electrical needs. Call dependable, innovative Intellectric.net today at 310-838-5486. Keep your light shining. Call 310-838-5486 or visit online at Intellectric.net.
HealthyLife.net for healthy side effects.
Welcome back. This is Consulting to Win Radio, and I'm Ralph White, and I'm here today with my co-host, Mary Mullenhoff, and our guest today is Dr. Kent Holtorf from the Holtorf Medical Group, and we're talking about coaching in business and coaching in medicine. You know, Dr. Holtorf, how do you see yourself as a coach in your practice, in how you work with your patients?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's, really we become a partner, as you do with us, to better their life. And that's really it. I never tell patients what to do. I'm there to make suggestions, and it's their body. It's up to them. And we need to figure out what works for them, because every person is different. So, some patients will say, I don't want any medications. Okay, we can do that. Other patients will do the best of both worlds, or, and depending on, what fits in their lifestyle and what they want to do. Just like it was just wonderful what you did here, you got such intimate knowledge and came in and spent the time to find out about our business. And I was reluctant, to say, how could someone, know about our business, very unique and that. So I had certain reservations, certainly about, was this going to work? And it was amazing. It's like, you've been doing my business for years, and it's like, I'll tell you what, and also with doctors, it kind of goes back, and the doctors, I'm going to do this, I want to do this. Well, I've done that, it doesn't work. And that's what you really helped me with, is you've been there, and all these things. I'm like, wow, that wasn't my business, but someone else had the exact same problem. Yes, and this is, how exactly what happened. I'm like, you're right, that's what happened. All these mistakes that didn't work, it's like you saved me from these future mistakes and things that didn't work that I could totally see. So it's, you've been there and done them, and you say exactly how it's going to work out, or I'll sometimes do something that you didn't tell me to do, and you're like, and you'll say, well, I bet you this happened, didn't it? Yes. How'd you know? And it was just really eye-opening, and it's just been a great learning experience.
Very good. So what would you say for other doctors in, how could they utilize a coach, or how could they benefit from doing that?
And I think, doctors in general, it's, times are changing, and, doctors aren't comfortable being businessmen, and, that's not what we wanted to do, but that's the way things have evolved, that you need to. It is a business. If you don't, make money, you're going to have to close your doors. And so doctors need to become much more savvy, but we're way behind all the learning curve and methods to run a practice. And, again, it's something that we've never been taught. But I also think that even I'm kind of looking at myself, I look at, people even with business degrees, they aren't taught really these management techniques. They say, I've graduated from Stanford with an MBA. I mean, they don't know how to run a practice or a business. It's not practical knowledge. Yeah, they understand all these theories and that, but how do you really do it? Show me a system, that works. And that's what I think has just been so powerful, is it's, again, objectively works, and give these practical, scenarios and what actually it turns in real life, not theoretical. You should, want your employees to be happy. Well, okay, great. Well, how do you make that happen? Here's how you do it. And so it's just it's a roadmap, and just step by step. You just told what to do, and if it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do it.
So is this basically going to be this franchise concept, like a business in a box kind of thing? Like all the systems are in there, and basically this is how you hire people. Here's how you open the office. Here's how you close it. Here are the tests you have to run. Here are the questions you have to ask. Is that?
Right, we can't. So we give them the medical side is one part of it. So give them all the training, and then they also have access to me for the medical side. And then we also give them, next component is how do you get new patients? So we do all the marketing for them because we have all the experience in that. And then the system side, which has been, of course, Ralph has been so a huge component of doing that, where I can actually give something to somebody. Before, if it wasn't Ralph, I'd say, well, you got to just run your practice. Yeah, I'll give you the marketing and and the training, but how do you run the business efficiently? I thought I was doing the best that was really possible, but my gosh, again, I didn't know what I didn't know, and there were so many things just to make life so much easier, and oftentimes wasn't that hard to implement. And he really was great about, my plate's so full and doing other things, I don't want to spend time, implementing these strategies. They're things that the staff can do and say, okay, let's just do things this way. And it didn't take a lot of my time, which was great. Otherwise, it would get, put down low, on the back burner and never would happen. And so, every week we're doing something new that really has noticeable beneficial effect on the practice. So that's something else I can offer. Hey, I've been there. Let me tell you how to do this. And I'm the expert now, So it's really nice to have that knowledge that it's something I didn't have whatsoever, a year ago.
Wow. Is it actually in action now? I mean, are people actually opening these franchises?
Yeah, well, it takes a long time to file in all these states. And the problem with healthcare is that there's so many laws in different states, so you have to get a healthcare attorney and clear with all the medical boards, and that's why you don't see many medical franchises. And then also the franchise laws are very extensive, so the paperwork is huge, but it's all disclosure. It's good for the franchisee because there's so many, shady franchises in the past, so they really protect the franchisee, which is great. But it takes a lot of time and energy to get those ready, so they're all been filed. And so we're it took a little longer than we thought, but we got the franchisees ready to go, the ones that want to go, but we can't officially sign them up yet until we get the documents officially back from the states.
Okay, so you guys are pretty much on the tarmac, ready to take off.
Exactly.
And you've got a line of people that are ready to go with you, and you've got you put the things in place to make it win, so that which is what we coach people to do, is to win in business. And you're an excellent example of someone that's very coachable. You don't argue with.
I don't know. I think my wife would argue with this.
Well, you're very cooperative in that you're open and receptive to the ideas, and you implement them immediately, especially since we can do them through other people in the company. And
well, I'll tell you why, because I've seen what they've done, and it's like you do a couple and they're like, damn, that's pretty impressive. So I mean, you'd be a fool not to listen.
So in the things that you put in place, like you managing the inventory and managing your staff and setting up meetings with the staff, what would you say are some of the things that are the most effective, something that's made the biggest difference in your life as the doctor?
Wow, I mean, it's so multifaceted and just so many different areas, even just from peace of mind where you just feel you have control. And there's so many systems like that. But even, we were losing so much money in inventory, we could not get it right. And it just, I can't tell you how many systems we did in 2 weeks. It was off. And,
are you talking about medical supplies when you talk about inventory?
No, I'm sorry?
What kind of inventory?
Medical supplies and supplements, and we were just, Ralph's like, well, how much are you losing? I don't know, And we did the number. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to know, And so it was bad. It was, money just being flushed down the toilet, and we couldn't get it right. And I can't tell you how many years we tried to do it. It seems simple, but it just in a practical sense never worked. So we came in, okay, let's take a look at this, and within several months, now it's like, I don't even think about it anymore. It's done. It works, and just think, it's thousands and thousands of dollars every month we were losing.
Okay.
So, I mean, even just with that, when their relationship with all the staff and getting them motivated to do things, it was, we weren't doing it right. It was, because I always thought people thought like me. They don't.
Very true.
So he taught me how the staff and employees are really thinking. And I'm like, really? He's like, yes. And so we tested it. I'm like, you're right. So it's just been a pleasure, and it's just I'm amazed every week. I'm kind of like, well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about this week, and it's like, because I'm like, wow, that was great, So again, it's just been an overwhelming success for us.
Excellent. Very good. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, if you have any questions for Dr. Holtorf or myself, call in on 310-371-5444. That's 310-371-5444. We'll be right back.
Imagine Possibilities Unlimited. Well, they're here, and they want to help your business. Possibilities Unlimited offers the best business consulting and coaching that provides incredible results. Ralph White and his team of experts bring a variety of experience and expertise to your business. Discover how their whole life matrix can positively affect your personal and business life. Focusing on key challenges, they'll devise a customized plan and give you the support you need every step of the way until you achieve your intended results. Call Possibilities Unlimited today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538. No business is too big or too small. Possibilities Unlimited can help them all. Call now at 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
Oh man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Welcome back. This is Consulting to Win Radio, and I'm Ralph White, here today with Mary Mullenhoff, my co-host, and Dr. Kent Holtorf from the Holtorf Medical Group. So, Dr. Holtorf, what do you see as the future in medicine? I know that you've been on a lot of television shows and interviewed a lot in that arena. What do you see the direction that we're going to go?
Yeah, I worry about medicine, and with whole healthcare reform, it looks like that hasn't passed, which was very surprising up until a week ago. And the whole system is a mess. We need reform, but I think the reforms that are on the table would only make things worse. I think one thing, you look at insurance model, and using insurance for routine care doesn't work. there's basically it's used, insurance is appropriate for emergencies, things that you don't think you're going to use. So what happens is, basically the doctor and the patient aren't connected. It's just this third party, and just basically the third party dictates the care. And again, with insurance, it's just bureaucratic, and all the money spent is going back and forth. And really, the only way to control costs with the insurance model is deny coverage, is deny therapies. So it doesn't work. Things like medical savings accounts work great because the patient has an incentive, and you go to the doctor and say, well, how much is this? How much is that? You actually like a normal business transaction. And for instance, now you basically, if you have cash, you go to the lab, they charge you 5 times as much. You go to the hospital, they charge you 10 times as much. What system in life is that where you have cash, you pay many times more? It's like, okay, food's important. Do we need food insurance? What would happen? You go to the store, it's like a carton of milk. How much is it? Well, $500. We'll see what we'll get from the insurance. Well, the insurance pays $300 to $100. And it just goes back and forth, and it's just a very bad system. So I think medical savings accounts, that type of system where people have an incentive to keep costs down. Certainly, you can subsidize some of those for people who can't afford it, and then have just catastrophic care. If you just did that and just say everyone has to post their rates, cash, and cash has to be cheapest, you just solve the healthcare problem. The price would drop in half.
Excellent. So you're a very practical, pragmatic person. You look at the facts, you do your analysis, and you come up with a solution that works. And that's worked for you in medicine. It's working for you in your business. It works for you in what you see is going to happen in medicine. So it's, I really, appreciate the way you look at things, the way you analyze it, and, gather the data, make it an informed decision, test something. If that doesn't work, test something else. And I know that you're on the cutting edge in your industry. You're in your practice. And so you're really a leader in your field. And how long do you think it's going to take the other people to catch up with you?
Well, again, we got at least 20 years on it. Looking at the statistics. So, things change very slow in medicine, and we find the less a doctor knows, the more resistant he is. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, can you just for purposes of giving a very quick overview of what that part of the problem is? Because when I was talking to this dentist of mine, who was your neighbor, she said, the most amazing thing about this whole Torv is that my patients who are going to him who have thyroid issues have been losing a tremendous amount of weight. And she says, I don't know what kind of racket he's running over there. So can you kind of on a very large scale, without getting into, sort of, we don't all have MDs. So just what are the basic issues, and what is it that, controlling the thyroid really create in a person's body?
Yeah, well, you look at it, the thyroid is the gas pedal for the body. And when levels are low, fatigue, difficulty losing weight, depression, and so it's so common. Now, even drinking out of plastic water bottles, the bisphenol A lowers your thyroid, blocks the thyroid receptor. Stress lowers your thyroid. Any systemic illness, any inflammation, psychological stress, will all lower thyroid levels. But again, the standard blood tests look normal. So if you do more sophisticated testing, you find those people are low, or at least suboptimal, you bring them to optimal, and it's just so powerful for so many patients. They're like, oh my God, I'm able to now lose weight, I have so much more energy, I feel so much better, and it's a lot of times very simple. And they'll go back to their doctor and say, I checked your thyroid, it was normal. Well, no, I'm on this. They're like, what? And some doctors will call and go, what are you doing? But the most say, no, insurance company says I have to do it this way. So they're just stuck. They don't want to know. And I'll send them studies, and I'll just kind of don't confuse me with the facts. I already made up my mind. And so there's some things you look at the studies, it's well supported in the medical literature, but it just the way doctors were trained, they got to get out of that that mode a little bit and take a step back and really look objectively at the evidence. But they're resistant to it.
Yeah. You're really like a pioneer in your industry. I mean, you're and I call it your profession, and you're really pointing to something, a possibility that hasn't existed in the past, or people haven't paid as much attention to, and I'm really pleased that you're, the efforts that you're making to publicize it, and the nonprofit work that you're doing. I mean, you've really, made a lot of effort to, to take care of people that, haven't been taken care of, or have been basically told, you're at the end of the road, there's nothing you can do, live with it. And what would your, for the other medical practitioners and doctors that are listening, how could you work with them, or what could they do to get on board with where you're going?
Right, and that's the thing. That's why I set up the nonprofit, which is for really to empower patients with knowledge and help doctors help patients and get the evidence up there. Because so many doctors are like, I understand what you're doing, but can you show me some more evidence on that? So there's hundreds of studies up there.
What's the name of that organization?
It's National Academy of Hypothyroidism, hypothyroidism.org. Also, published studies, and one of our studies peer-reviewed. We had patients come in, 500 consecutive patients who had seen on average 7.2 physicians without getting any improvement with fatigue and muscle pain and brain fog, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia. And with our data, we had a computerized outcome database. 90% got significantly better by the fourth visit. So we're publishing our data and doing reviews, endocrine reviews, publishing those, and keep trying to get the word out. Do a lot of media trying to get more awareness. We'll be on the Today Show tomorrow, 9:15 Eastern time. And again, just trying to get the word out. And so many patients are just like, it's like, patients cry even before we treat them. Like, oh my God, I know something was wrong, and and it's just amazing. They've just been, put through the mill and told it's psychological, and they're just lazy and they need to exercise more. We have patients get gastric bypass. I can tell you how many patients, who they come in, they've had gastric bypass, they lose a little bit of weight, and they start gaining it back. And the doctors keep saying, "Oh, you're eating too much." Like, no, I'm not. In fact, the Discovery Channel sent a patient in, same scenario. They thought she was lying and she was eating. They put her in the hospital, monitored her diet, and they put her on 600 calories a day, and she gained weight. Wow. So she came in again. She says, "I know it's my thyroid." The doctor said over and over, "Your thyroid's fine." That's what they say. We did the testing. My gosh, she was so low, and she was burning like 600 calories a day. That was it. And fixed her thyroid, and actually fixed her leptin resistance that she had, and also she started losing weight. And then she's mad. She didn't think she didn't need the gastric bypass, But and that's what we find is doctors they'll do simple tests and then blame the patient because they can't get them better.
Now, if a patient or someone that is listening, one of our listeners, wanted to work with you or wanted to come to your office, how can they connect with you?
Yeah, they just go ahead and give us a call. Our website's probably the easiest. A lot of information on there, which is www.holtorfmed.com. And again, a lot of information packed, and so we really want to empower the patient, and they can print off a lot of those and take them to their doctor, or they can certainly come see us, of course. And that's why I also set up the National Academy of Hypothyroidism, so they're printable handouts to bring to their doctor as well. Sometimes doctors they don't want to even take the time to read it, but finding the right doctor is important. And again, we're here, and hopefully we'll have we should plan to have centers across the country, so it's really to help these people. So we're getting emails from patients saying, "When are you coming to my area?"
That's great.
So it's nice.
Excellent. So I really want to thank you for being on the program. I'm honored that you're on our program today and the Today Show tomorrow.
Yeah. Wow.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule. And I highly recommend anyone that's has a need that fits into your area to by all means give you a call. So
great, I appreciate that. And Sam, really, I've made a lot of bad business decisions, but this is the best decision I ever made was using Possibilities Unlimited, and because it's really opened the door for so many other possibilities and allowed me. So I'm just as pleased as could be with the service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow.
All right, so we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, Mary and I are going to give you some insights for sales on your business. We'll be right back.
There are 3 wise women at Possibilities Unlimited, and if you want to improve your business's bottom line, you'll want to get to know them because they want to help you with your business, and they can. Wise web woman Bonnie Landau will help make your website the best it can be. She'll help you with all web-related things, including social media. Wise marketing woman Mary Mullinoff wields her magic to find and obtain sales leads for you, and she'll help you identify and qualify prospects. Leanne Farmer, wise work life woman, hones your customer relations, communications, and sales skills as she teaches you how to manage your work and life in balance. There are options of coaching with one or all 3 wise women. Get to know them now. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538, or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Demystify the world of social marketing and get it to work for you. You can maximize your market potential in sales, and Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited can help. Discover how to use Twitter, LinkedIn, and more to market your business. Learn how to expand your prospect base, improve your web presence, but more importantly, get results. Your possibilities are unlimited. Social networking can impact your bottom line in a positive way. Find out how with Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited. Call today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538, or visit consulting2win.com, consulting2win.com.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
All positive talk with a mature edge. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is Ralph White and Mary Mullenhoff, and we're Consulting to Win Radio. And that was an outstanding conversation with Dr. Holtorf. He's obviously very energetic, high energy, very committed, very passionate about what he does.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yes.
I mean, just the fact that he's been willing to say, I've read a lot of stuff, and the way we're doing it isn't what's working.
Right.
We got to do it differently,
Right.
and just do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And whether you're
gutsy.
whether you're doctor or in the electrical business, what you want to hear from that is that he's totally open to new possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
He's totally open to looking at things in a different way, and that's what opens up new opportunities for you. It's if you're stuck in a paradigm, if you're stuck in this is the way I've done it for 20 years, and that's the the best way to do it because it's always worked. In today's market, that's not going to be the case. The one thing that you can count on today is that things are going to change. That's a guaranteed. And if I look at it sort of like if you've been shooting at a target for years and hitting the target, you need to know that the target has moved maybe 10 degrees to the right. And if you don't adjust where you're shooting, you don't adjust how you're managing your business, how you're running your business, where you're going with your business, you're not going to hit the target. You're not going to improve the process. And I like that he emphasized the processes and the systems, and he's very adaptable and very aligned with that, because the systems provide you a structure for having your business run more effectively. Because there's so many things that happen that are unanticipated that you can't predict, that if you can put things that are predictable into a system, then you're able to manage them more effectively. So
yeah, and then and that's kind of like what we've been doing with our sales program is, there's a lot of salespeople out there, some who are new at it and some who are seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we have one of these conversations in our Sales to Win course, someone always gets an aha. Like
Right.
there's something new that comes up that it's like, oh, yeah, I guess that does always happen. And I've been doing it, but it's been
Right.
like just happened to have been doing it. It
Right.
wasn't like a purposeful thing.
Yeah, there's the knowing of something, like you give me some information, so I know the information. That's sort of the first level. And then the next level is the using the information.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned this information or this process, and I'm using it. And then the third level is being used by the information. It's sort of like, typing on a keyboard. In the beginning, you're like, okay, I have this information that the keys are here and here's the instructions on how to do it. And then I'm using it. And at some point you roll over to where it becomes invisible. It becomes part of who you are. It's just an extension of your fingers. You don't stop and think, where is the A key anymore? You're like used by or the process becomes invisible. It's like part of who you are.
It's innate. Yeah,
Right.
it's like it's just what you do. You wake up in the morning, you stretch, and you're in sales.
Exactly. It's like for you going to the gym. It's like for you, it's not you wake up in the morning and you go to the gym and you're happy and smiling, and because you are it's so much a part of who you are.
Oh yeah.
That that it's natural.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. So
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. And, with sales, I think you have to make it enjoyable. It can't be like, oh, I'm going to have my teeth pulled.
Right.
Exactly. Or I'm going to go pull somebody else's teeth.
Right.
Because as soon as you feel like that's where you're at with it, it's not going to be fun and it's not going to probably be effective.
Yeah. And like in our Sales to Win program, we put sales into a process, a 7-step process, so that you can actually look at the process, look at where you're at, and then follow those steps to where people say, well, I'm not good at closing, or I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at that. And we actually, we coach that if you follow the process and you do it, in a thorough fashion, by the time you get to the end where it's time to close, it will be a given that the client is going to work with you. It's not okay, maybe they're going to buy or maybe they're not going to buy. The buying decision, if you follow the process, is more or less, the next obvious move to make in the process. And so that's, breaking